Hi, it's Marty from Marty's Classic Cars. Just a short video this, basically, on a bit of a sad note. I mentioned at the Ombersley show, where I was at last time, my son who passed away on 17th of February, actually, 2023, and that I inherited his Dodge truck. It's a Dodge Dakota, and it's one of these projects I'm doing, which I've inherited for myself from his estate, and it's like an ongoing thing. It's just a short video really to show you what's going on if you're interested. Like and subscribe if you do, most pleased if you do, and see where we go from there. I'll just show you a bit of background. My son passed away. He's 37 years old. Didn't like the world, unfortunately. He went through a terrible year in 2022. When he was selling his house, he split up from his partner down in Southampton. We moved down there from Worcestershire, and then of course he split up from his other partner in 2023. And despite the situation that got better for him financially and everything else, and he paid everybody back for his stuff going on, one thing or another, got himself back on his feet. Further events happened, basically. Long and story short, it was dreadful. Had the police at my door on the 18th, on the Saturday morning. Just mentioned he got a son called David in Southampton, and that was it. It was swimming to bits. You don't get over these things. You just have to learn to live with them. It's one of those. Excuse me. Okay, I'll have a quick show you a few pictures first, and then what I'll do, I'll just show you his Dodge, and then just go from there. All right, thank you very much. This was Dave and me. That's at the Malvern Hills. It was about 1991. I was a single parent with him then for about 7 years, because me and his mum split up in end of 97, early 98. So I was a single parent with him for 8 years. I had to take him everywhere I used to go. We were all James Bond fans, so one of those. And one of his favourite places was Valley of the Rocks, where that picture is based there, which is out in near Lynmouth, where the first show I did. First video I did. I think you can see that very well with the light. That was David impersonating Johnny Depp by the looks of things. I think he was mistaken for Johnny Depp when he was down in Southampton. And that was him on his love of motorbikes. That was his Magna, which he had. I'll just quickly show you the Dodge. I can just bear with me a second, running around the house. Just giving the Saab a bit of love, as you can see. I think it's the first time I've given it an actual wash in the 7 years that I've owned it. I usually just polishing it, and it's been kept indoors all the time. But it's funny, a bit of dirt came out of it at the paint actually, so maybe I've been rubbing a bit of dirt into the paint, but polishing it all the time rather than just washing it. But just doing it a couple of times over. It's actually looking well. I'm off to Southampton tomorrow, because as being the 18th of July, because that was David's birthday. But this is his Dodge. It's a Dodge Dakota 1989, and it's a 3.9 V6. They did also a V8, which was and also a 4x4 model, but this was only a two-wheel drive. It's, let's say, cosmetically challenged. I suppose it's got some rust in places. The arches here fairly solid, but obviously we've got a bit of bodywork going on there, and the paintwork's probably crazed a bit from the sunlight and one thing and another. This arch is not particularly good at all, though it still seems fairly solid under there, but I'm led to believe they do go there quite a bit actually. But on this one here, I think the panels are available. I choose to go that way. So what have I done with it so far? Well, it's had all new tyres. I've been presently rebuilding the brakes. I've got the front brakes to do, and they are disc brakes with the integral with a hub, which I've got. I've actually had the parts from Rock Auto in America, whose deliveries are absolutely splendid. They're very, very good. And even coming to the UK, it's only about 4 or 5 days, if that sometimes. I've rebuilt the drums with new fitting kits and new brake shoes on both wheels, so that's all done. And I've also, I don't know if you can see under there, I've repainted it underneath. That's mostly in black hammerite actually. She's fairly solid in that everything, but just a bit of surface rust and so on. I've also put some light fittings on, one each side, and had two locks on that, one either side of that one as well. The snug top is made by Snug Top. It's not made by Dodge or Chrysler as such. You get these things on the back of Toyotas and all sorts of people with farming and that sort of thing. What else have I done? Oh yeah, I've had new lights, new seal beams in there. I'll give the grid a bit of a paint in the black work, so that's been done as well. Obviously you'll see she's had a bit of a knock at one time. I think he had a knock on it just to add to his woes. And this side doesn't look too bad actually. Again, there's things to do. So I'm getting on with it bit by bit. I find it a bit of a task. I have got the hubcaps for all the wheels. I've got the 3 of them in the actual cab at the moment, but I've been jacking it up and taking the things off. They are a bit of a swine, I tell you what, to get put back on again. Now I can take them off all right. We'll just wheel them off with a screwdriver, but because they're absolutely, because they're stainless, unlike just these plastic hubcaps you have on modern cars, and you can put a bit of a tie on them or something to keep them on. It's these are just press on only, but they are, it takes a bit of a knack to actually put them on. But we've rewired all the lights up and got those working, and that's it. Inside, she's got it all working. She is quite good. Inside, there I was. It's got a bit of discoloration on the inside, but everything's working as such. Got a column shift on the side. I've got to see what mileage is. I think it's about 70,000, something like that. The engine itself sounds quite good. I haven't got the battery connected at the moment, so I will get a connector. I've got a new battery for it. She starts first time actually, as good as gold. But the exhaust, there's an exhaust bit missing on the back, so she sounds a bit throaty at the moment. But she does sound quite well. I've put all new plugs in it, rotor arm, distributor cap. I'll put one of the emission valves on there as well as pressure control valve on the top of the engine. New hoses, a brand new radiator because that was leaking, the original one we had on it, and that caused the gearbox to go. So I've had a complete gearbox rebuild by Neil Smith in Cannock which cost me £2,000 on it. David did have a job done in Southampton for £700, but the guy just took him for a ride basically. He didn't have enough pressures, so obviously I didn't want to get into legal wranglings of that at the time. I pulled the car away, pulled this away and from the garage and just left him to it. I was sort of sod it, the guy wasn't worth dealing with. So I took it on myself to get the gearbox rebuilt. We've renewed the radiator, which includes the cooling thing for the radiator, and that's been done as well. Bought that from Rock Auto, and top hoses and thermostat. So we're getting there. It's very slow, but I've left the things in there which Dave had. I think hopefully get it going. The neighbours, I don't know what they think of it, but I think it's probably a rusty old heap on the drive, which doesn't appeal to some people who are a bit materialistic, but it doesn't bother me. I'll get it going and that's it. I don't know how long I'll keep it for, to be quite honest. I've never been a hugest fan of American cars. Not that I dislike them at all, but just haven't been really interested in them. So it's been difficult, as well as a learning process to learn about this. But hey ho, we get there slowly. She's alright though, but we're off to tomorrow to Southampton as it was her birthday. And then what we'll do from there, because we're going down there, we've had a little brass plaque made in his memory, and we're going to see his daughter Lily and his best friend Tom, who we gave his motorbike to because his boat was needing work at the time. So we'll have an enjoyable sort of day there, albeit a sad weekend sort of thing, but that's what it is. But yeah, we'll continue with the Dodge. This is my project, so to speak. She is sawn at the moment, not taxed or anything like that. So provided hopefully when I get the brakes sorted out, probably do a bit more spraying underneath to check out. I also need some rear shock absorbers as well, so that's be the next on my list. So that's the obvious things. Then we probably might see how she goes for an MOT, and go from there. So we'll see how it goes. Okay, thank you very much for listening. As I say, like and subscribe if you can. Thanks very much for getting my hand out of the way for you. Thanks for listening, and yeah, it's a bit of a sad one in a way, but hey ho, we got to do these things. Joe and myself, his stepmom, we make a pilgrimage down to Southampton from a couple of times a year, basically, and see his daughter and everything, and go from there. Okay, well, thank you very much for your time again, and see you next video.